How are the beaches in Guadalajara? It sounds like a harmless question, but ask that the wrong truck driver and the answer might expose one of the biggest safety threats to American highways in years. A flood of fake commercial driver's licenses, better known as LFCs, making their way from Mexico into the United States. And what law enforcement found, it should concern every single American CDL holder. FreightWaves has an article on their website on how Texas found out about these fake licenses, and I decided to make a video about that. The story begins in Texas. Major Omar Villarreal of the Texas Highway Patrol's Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division started noticing something odd back in 2021, right as the country was waking up from the COVID pandemic. At first, it was a rise in construction vehicles around Austin. Considering the economy was trying to bounce back, this was normal. But then officers began noticing large camps forming just outside of city limits. Open lots with 80 to 100 trucks, not parked at rest stops, not at yards. These were makeshift living quarters for drivers, most of them foreign nationals operating under Mexican CDLs. Now this story gets even more interesting. These drivers weren't just passing through, they were living out of their trucks, staging for construction companies hauling aggregates, and many of the vehicles were not up to code. It wasn't long before the safety issues started piling up. Officers would pull these trucks over violations, lights out, unsecured loads, expired tags. But what happened next was more alarming. The drivers didn't seem to know how to operate their rigs. They'd park partially in traffic, stall multiple times trying to move just a few yards, or take several tries to complete simple maneuvers. Many didn't understand basic commands. If you ask a driver to pull forward 10 feet and it takes 6 attempts and multiple stalls to do that, in law enforcement we call that a clue. That's what they said. Now what they would do, they would pull them over to a shoulder, and these drivers were partially parked on the shoulder and in the driving lane, and this was not normal. If you are a CDL holder or if you know anything about driving even a small car, if someone pulls you over or if you're trying to stop, you would of course completely go to the shoulder, or as some people call it, emergency lane. But no, these guys were partially parked nor here nor there. So that's when they got more clever. They started questioning drivers more deeply, a favorite question, and the question was, how are the beaches in Guadalajara? Guadalajara is landlocked, nowhere near the ocean. But time and time again, drivers responded, "Oh, they're beautiful, the water is so blue." That's when the whole facade would fall apart. These were not Mexican citizens. They were from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, sometimes even other parts of the world, who had bought fake digital CDLs online. How? Through a black market system that involved emailing a selfie, filling out some basic information, and wiring around 2,500. The turning point came in April 2021 when Mexico moved from hard copy CDLs to digital ones. So that's when they started exploring these new possibilities. Before that, fake licenses were sold in flea markets using materials purchased from China materials that were actually identical to what Mexican government used for real licenses. Once the LFCs went digital, things actually got worse. Fraudsters just started printing digital licenses at home. You'd see licenses where the photo was clearly taken in front of a bedroom door or a garage wall. As Texas law enforcement compiled crash data involving these LFC holders, a disturbing trend emerged. Collisions involving Mexican licensed drivers were increasing month after month. When the state reached out to the FMCSA, they were met with silence. Now, flash forward to 2025, the Trump administration is back in the office. President Trump signed the executive order mandating English proficiency for all CDL holders operating in the United States. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy starts posting his concerns publicly drawing praise from the American freight community. But is it too little, too late? Because while the politics shift, the core issue remains. There is no robust verification system between US and Mexican authorities to check the authenticity of these digital licenses or the driving ability of those holding them. And while politicians wait, it's the owner-operators, the lifeblood of America's freight industry, who are paying the price. They're losing loads to foreign drivers who are willing to work for less, often dangerously unqualified and backed by carriers cutting corners to boost profits. What's the solution? Enforce English proficiency nationwide, create a secure, verifiable system for accepting foreign CDLs, hold companies accountable for hiring drivers without proper training, support American owner-operators through better oversight and fair pay standards. Because what's at stake is not just fairness, it's also safety for every trucker, for every family sharing the road. What's interesting about this is that a lot of people would think that this has to do with Mexican nationals or illegal immigration from Mexico, but it's actually far more widespread than that. It has nothing to do with hardworking people from Mexico, because a lot of these drivers are from other countries in South America who are just coming here. They want to make some money and maybe go back or send it over there. But not that they're just doing it in an illegal way. They're doing it in an unsafe way where they talk to black markets in Mexico. So again, this is not regular people. It's just black markets. And they get them, and you have people like that everywhere. But Mexico just happened to have those digital CDLs now, and Mexico has agreements with United States, and therefore these people from other countries, they're using that loophole in order to get here and drive those trucks. So it's a way far more spread than what we actually know. And I'm sure in next coming months we will see more and more schemes like this. But this is another way of keeping the highways safe and keeping our drivers here busy who came here in a legal way and who obtained their CDLs in a legal way. Let me know what you think about this. This is Anis from Never Stop Trucking.